jersey. Let's get into it, because obviously this ties to one Shedeur Sanders, who balled out in his first preseason game.
A lot of people are calling for Monica McNutt to be fired over her inability to recognize one of the most legendary players in NFL history. To make matters worse, Monica McDougal had the audacity to get Barry Sanders, a first ballot Hall of Famer. She had the audacity to overlook and get him confused with a fifth-round draft pick. Believe it or not, Uncle KC does not think Mo McDougal should be fired from the worldwide leader in woke, although she should have never been hired to begin with. But what happened Friday morning, this is a prime example of why diversity does not work. And if ESPN isn't careful, if ESPN goes through with their current plan to promote Monica McDougal and give her an afternoon show on the network, keyword, give, because that's what this promotion would be, a gift. It damn sure wouldn't be earned. If ESPN goes through with this ridiculous plan, not only will Monica McNutt become the female version of Bomani Jones, and if you've been following this channel for a while, you already know that ends in huge embarrassing failure. But if ESPN goes through with this generous promotion that's 100% based on diversity, they're at serious risk of losing their locker room. They're at serious risk of losing the respect of current employees who actually have talent. You know, in sports, we often hear about coaches losing the locker room. Last December, the Sacramento Queens, they fired head coach Mike Brown. Coaches throughout the NBA, they were pissed off. Mike Brown is highly respected. But many believe that the reason Mike Brown was fired is because he lost the locker room. There were rumors that he was asking DeMar DeRozan, a veteran player, to come off the bench. There were rumors that he had lost the respect of his players. A lot of times, when coaches in the NBA get fired, the decision is driven by the players. The coach that should have been fired last year was Captain Doofus, Willard Green. Bill Green is without a doubt the worst coach in the NBA. This dude lost the locker room years ago. I remember a couple of years ago, Bill Green was drawing up a play during a timeout. CJ McCollum was supposedly laughing his ass off. The play was so unbelievably bad, it was adopted and used by Angel Reese in the WNBA. I vividly remember the day Dennis Allen lost the Saints locker room in New Orleans. Final week of the season. Saints are in the Superdome beating the hell out of the Falcons. Game is essentially over. Dennis Allen tells Jameis Winston to kneel out the clock. Jameis Winston, he decides to hand off the ball to Jamal Williams for an easy touchdown, running up the score on the Saints' biggest rival. After the game, Dennis Allen got on his knees, begging the Falcons for forgiveness. "I'm so sorry. I'm not used to winning and my players have no respect for me. Please, please don't spank my ass. Can we be friends?" Denise not only lost the locker room that day, he lost the entire fan base. The entire city turned against him, and he eventually lost his job. He should have been fired instantly, but Mickey Loomis was blinded by his crush on Dennis Allen. He couldn't fire his boo, so Mama Gail had to step in and fire one of the worst coaches the NFL has ever seen. Once you lose the locker room, it is damn near impossible to get it back. In most cases, the next step after losing the locker room is losing your job. Well, Casey, that's not true. Willie Green still has his job with the Pelicans. Yeah. Yeah, that's because the Pelicans are an incompetent flaming ass fire. Now, obviously, ESPN is not at risk of losing their job if they lost the respect of their locker room, but they are at risk of losing people on their roster with actual talent. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel in the description below. Today on the second channel, going to be doing our annual update on Colin Kaepernick. Now, normally this time of year, Colin is pretending to want back in the NFL, and 32 teams are telling him to politely fuck off. But this year, Colin Kaepernick is experiencing a severely bruised caboose, and the boot to ass is coming from an unlikely source. ESPN has canceled a documentary that was focusing on the plight of Colin and the mythical racism he created and subsequently dealt with. The documentary has been in production for years, and ESPN suddenly decided to cancel it over creative differences. I'll tell you the real reason that this documentary was canceled, so click the link in the description below, subscribe to the second channel. You know, anytime I'm looking for the morale behind the scenes at ESPN, Bobby Burack at Outkick is the most reliable source. I either read his articles or reach out to him directly if I have any questions. Over the years, he has built relationships with people at ESPN. Yesterday, he explained how people with actual talent were feeling about Monica McNutt. Most of their reactions started the same way. I like Mo. She's really nice. She brings cupcakes and lets me blow out the candles. Yeah, I'm sure Mo McNutt is really talented when it comes to shopping for pastries at Publix. I bet she's creative and will buy those candles that refuse to go out so everyone at ESPN can bond while laughing together. There's not a doubt in my mind that Monica McNutt is a nice lady. If I'm looking for someone to babysit my dogs, I'm sure Mo would go above and beyond. When Oreo and Chew got back home, they'd probably smell like passion fruit. But when it comes to business, when it comes to her ability to provide analysis, or in this case, when it comes to something as elementary as knowing who Barry Sanders is, Monica McNutt is the drizzling shits. I'm assuming these responses from employees at ESPN and how each of their responses started, I'm assuming that they're coming mostly from women, because it sounds like something my wife would say. We'll be watching a game and my wife will say, "Is Kyrie Irving a good person? Is he a good husband?" Who gives a shit? Derek Carr is a great husband and father. Derek Carr is a good Christian man. If I'm looking for a deacon at church, Derek Carr, top of my list. If I'm looking for a franchise quarterback, I don't want him anywhere near my team. After the pleasantries were over, after they softened their real opinions with the fact that they like Mo McNutt, people with talent at ESPN gave their honest opinion. According to Bobby Burack, people behind the scenes are outraged. They're furious. Not only were they embarrassed for producers, for management, and for ESPN as a brand, they're also pissed off that Monica McNutt was given, there's that word again, given. They're pissed off that Mo was given this position over people who actually deserve it. And who can blame them? Imagine you're a white woman at ESPN, or imagine that you're a dude trying to make a name for yourself at a network that values diversity over talent. You're busting your ass. You're watching game film. You're well prepared. You're waiting for your opportunity to prove yourself. You have vast knowledge of sports, and ESPN is only giving you breadcrumbs. Now, they are better than the Ethiopian breadcrumbs that WNBA players call a salary, but they're still breadcrumbs. At the same time, Monica McNutt, who has proven absolutely nothing She is being featured on ESPN's flagship show, the same show that she was kicked off of last summer for attempting to elevate herself by publicly humiliating Stephen A. Smith. If you were in this situation, how would you feel about it? Would you resent Monica McNutt? Would this change your opinion of her? There's just nothing good about basing hiring decisions on diversity. No one wins. Think about it. Who is the winner in this situation? All I see is a bunch of losing. Monica McNutt was put in a position that she was not qualified to be in. Now, I don't blame her. It's not her fault that she was given this opportunity. She was put in a spot that she was not ready to be in, and she publicly humiliated herself. As a result, Stephen A. Smith looks bad because he was responsible for putting her on First Take. ESPN looks bad because they're the ones that promoted her based on diversity. And the people with actual knowledge, they are being wasted behind the scenes so ESPN can boast about being inclusive. Everyone loses. You know, sometimes people will complain because I refer to Monica McNutt and Mina Kimes as pretend analysts. Why are you so mean? This is so disrespectful. These women are working hard and you refer to them as pretenders. Yeah, because that's what they are doing. They're pretending. This is all make-believe. The truth hurts. The truth is ugly. Historically, analyst positions were given to former players. Crying Ryan Clark is an emotional disaster. He constantly uses mythical racism in a desperate attempt to be noticed. He is begging for someone, anyone, to give him the attention that he desires. Ryan Clark is a master baiter when it comes to fake racism, but he's qualified to analyze the NFL. Dude played in the league for 12 years. I might not respect his antics, but I can respect his knowledge, his insight. Brian Windhorst never played in the NBA, but he's been covering the league for decades. Brian Windhorst is not described as an NBA analyst by ESPN. His official job title, I believe, is senior writer. Monica McNutt was not qualified to play in the WNBA. So how in the hell is she qualified to analyze the NBA? Doris Burke, Shanae Aguame. These are the NBA analysts at ESPN. How can three women analyze a league they've never played in? ESPN better be careful here. I told you guys years ago there was going to come a point when the sympathy money would be bankrupted. There would come a point when diversity would no longer be enough, and you would be expected to perform. You either step up or you step aside. And with ESPN, talented people no longer need you to work in the business. If you refuse to use their talent, they will find a way to use it. If ESPN continues to value diversity over talent, they will find a way to use their talent elsewhere. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.